So it's one, no, it's two, three, 10, and this is Zach Rockford's cast blog for tutoring in biology. Um, so yesterday I tutored, I went to the after school tutoring in Miss Kehoe's room. We had 4 or 5 people show up. I think there was Matt and I were tutoring. I worked a lot with an 11th grader, two 11th graders actually, on Punnett squares. And again, this is one of those new challenges. I talked about this last blog I did on this because I also worked with an 11th grader. But it's a challenge to work with someone your own age and to teach them something, because there's a very fine line between being condescending and being instructive. It's tough because you don't want to seem like you're looking down. You don't want to seem like you're irritated because they don't understand, and at the same time you want to keep them concentrated, and you want to have some sort of authority. So it's a very thin line, and you have to make sure you know where that dichotomy is, that split there between condescension and pushing them and tutoring them. Uh, so I thought it went well though. I know by the time I was done with them, actually, I had Matt come over and help me a couple of times when they didn't understand the way I was explaining it, and that's increasing awareness. I think of your own strengths and areas for growth, because admitting sometimes that the way you think of something might not be the way that other people think of it. I think it's very important to understand that people perceive things so much differently, and that's strengths and areas for growth in people. And I think that's something we all need to realize a little bit, is that there are just so many different ways of looking at one different thing. I mean, one thing. Um, and then, so we talked about Punnett squares, which is simple uh, hereditary stuff. It was pretty easy stuff, but I also feel that this cemented for me um, my knowledge of Punnett squares, and I took a test today, and I knew everything, pat. So I think that's again awareness of my own strengths and areas for growth. Is that I'm starting to realize that if I understand something so that I can teach it, and if I actually teach it, I talk through it enough and do it with other people over and over, and I slow down like that, as if I'm teaching someone. I think that helps me to understand, and I think that's something important for me to understand about myself, is that sometimes if I have that level of comprehension, if I can do that teaching, then I know that I can understand it. Uh, so this is my blog for biology tutoring on the 3rd of February, 2020.